All right, I'll be doing a high fade with a 3 on top and a 00 on the sides. It's my boy. He was not wanting a haircut today, but he'll warm up as we go. I start off right there in the middle on my side and work my way around. Try to get every pass to overlap anywhere about 25 to 50% from the previous one before we move on to a new section. There in the whirl, make sure that you cut in all directions to make sure that it's even. I find it easier to just switch hands when working on the left side on the top of the head. Since we are not blending, we're just removing the excess hair. I find it easier to use my left than holding the clipper at a weird angle, as we'll end up having to do here on the sides when it comes to the left side. We'll show it in a minute. Always good to have a blow dryer handy so you can remove all the loose hair clippings. I find it to be more effective than using a duster. I'm picking up the hair with the comb and put it in the proper position so the clipper can cut it evenly and smoothly. Being a bit dramatic since I don't want to buy him ice cream. This is what I was talking about, the weird angle. It'll put a little bit of pressure of on your elbow and shoulder when working on top of the head. On the sides of the head, it's not that bad. Again, this is a 3 guard closed. Switch over to my 1 guard. I'm gonna use it open, stopping short of the parietal ridge, which is where the head rounds out. There he is being silly, knowing that the camera's recording him. Now we're taking my 00 on my trimmer. I'm actually using the wall detailer. I prefer this one on him only because the black canvas one, can't remember what it's called, the cordless one, sometimes irritates him. It's pretty sharp. So we're setting a base guideline with our 00. This guideline, don't try to get it perfect. Get it to look pretty straight, but don't focus on it being perfect. We're gonna fade it out anyways. You can fold your down with one of your fingers, then continue to work in an effective manner around the ears. Since I already have the trimmer in my hands, start cleaning up the hairline. Not focusing on getting it perfect because we're gonna clean it up with the razor blade anyways. Now I use my duster. The blow dry can be a little strong to be blown into somebody's face. Any hairs that may have missed, get up now before we proceed. clean up the C cup. Remember, now we clean up the front hairline as well. It was pretty early in the morning, to be fair to him. He was my first customer of the day. We started with that one guard open. Now we're going over it, getting any hair we may have missed. Now we're starting to close it, starting to blend down towards that 00 guideline that we set in with the trimmer. Now we're gonna remove that one guard and start with the clipper completely open, staying short of where we stopped with the one guard closed. We could, I'm sorry, and we'll continue to blend out that base guideline with our that we made with our 00. Now we continue to close our clipper, continue working on a small guideline there at the bottom. As you can see, it's already starting to come together and fade out. One of the reasons why I really like my Annis Masters, I can fade from the 00 into my one guard with only using the lever. And then from the 1 to the 2, that way I don't need no half guard or 1.5 guard. Using the corner of the clipper so you can remove any residue of the 00 line that was established with the trimmer. Right there on the parietal ridge, he has a bit of a, I guess you could call it a bump that I have to work on. That creates some shadows, so we have to fine tune it. Now we're gonna connect that 1.5, the one guard open to the 3 guard by using clipper over comb. As y'all can see, we are almost done on this side. It's a pretty efficient way of cutting hair. Not the only way of cutting hair, but it is efficient. I have another video that I'll show later on how I do the clipper over comb. Again, if y'all have any questions, please comment below. That way I can answer them. When fine tuning the hair, I find it a lot easier to stretch the skin so we can see clearly what it is that we're working on. Then, as always, turn back, look at the mirror so you can see if there's anything that we may have missed. Because after a while, our eyes will deceive us. So ready for summer? Because summers here are hot. It was just about 110 about a day or two ago. So clean up the hairline. This hairline is not perfectly straight, and I ain't trying to push it back. So that's the reason I try to play with the baby hairs to give him a pretty solid hairline, but not perfect. Because I'm not trying to push him back. He's just a kid. He doesn't need no perfect hairline anyhow. Now we're going to start on the other side. We're going to start once again with the one guard open. Go over any spots we may have missed previously when we first started off the haircut. And then we'll close about halfway. Previously, we had only done the side. We didn't work on the back of the head at all. Now we are. Now it's completely closed. we're basically fading down from that 2 guard close. We're fading down to that 00 guideline that we established. I'm going to remove the guard, start with the clipper open. Work all the way around. Now halfway, continue to work all the way around. Kind of sit up straight. There it goes right back to being a hunchback. Anyhow, all right, we continue working on our fade. And I'm working the back. The clipper's still open now. We close it a tad bit more, just short of completely closed. Not completely closed. Using more of the corner of the clipper to remove what is left of the base guideline that we established with our 00. Slightly opening up so you can get rid of it, a little dark spot that was there. Now at this point the haircut is almost done, so we will do clipper over comb here in a minute, and then also polish up the haircut, any dark spots we may have missed. But overall, the whole process will end up taking us about 20-25 minutes at the most. Right there, that area is where the head is rounding out towards the top and also rounding out towards the front. You'll notice that on a lot of people, you'll end up with the weight line right there. So I'm working with the corner of the clipper at a slight angle so I don't dig in and then I'm making a bald spot. A little bit of a dark spot, use our corner. The reason I use the corner, not the full blade, is because if I use the full blade, I will probably end up raising a guideline or making a brand new line, which will end up being counterproductive. And like this, I have more control. You can be more surgical with it when removing weight, when removing a dark spot. That will be clipper over combing to connect the 1 guard open or the 1.5 to the 3 on top. It wasn't cutting enough hair, so I closed the clipper. I usually do clipper over comb with the clipper open. That way it evenly distributes the hair, less of a possibility of it snagging. Right there in the crown, work at diagonals to ensure that it connects properly. Careful there with the whirl that we don't end up making a bald spot. There's some weight right there, so I'm going with the 1 guard. Started open, that way it gives me a little room for error, and then start closing it. You can always cut more hair, you cannot put it back on. Remember that. Little rule of thumb, if you think it's a 1 guard, use your 2. If anything, you'll end up wasting, if you will, 10-20 seconds. Just in case you're wrong and it's not the 1 guard. But it'll save you from having to do a whole haircut all over again and changing it from a mid fade, if you will, to a high fade. And you continue to remove weight. Still polishing up the haircut. I'll expend the last, it usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes to completely polish the haircut. I just trust the process of the steps that I use to cut hair, and then at the end I just polish up the whole haircut. as opposed to when I was first starting, that I wanted to get every single little spot that I was working on perfect. But then it would turn a 20-minute haircut into an hour and a half haircut. That's usually what ends up happening when we're first starting. As you grow in the industry, you learn to trust your eye a lot more. You develop your eye to where you can notice where there's still weight lines, where there's still dark spots, or whatever the case may be. Remember to always use your mirror. That's why I keep turning around, looking at my mirror, looking for anything that I may have missed. If you notice there, I touched it with my thumb. That way, I wasn't seeing it when I was looking at his head straight on. When I looked in the mirror and I noticed a dark spot, that's the reason I touched it with my thumb, so I could know where it was when I turned around. Remember to work with the brush or comb in your hand, though. You can remove all the loose clippings. And here we are done. That's it.